We got loads of people saying, "Hey, Simon, Kurt Smith, Roberta Landreth in the house. Hello, my love."
Where's the StreamYard thing in here?
There it is.
There it is.
And I believe we're live now everywhere. We should be live on.
Well, what are you doing? Roll the music.
I want people to show up first.
Oh, okay.
I want to see some peeps hanging out. Give people a minute because you only get one crack at the
theme music.
At the theme song.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which is crooked?
Here, I'll fix it. Okay.
All right.
We've got Anna Salgado in the house.
My wife.
Zach Creaser gives us an aggressive dad wave. Anthony Best says, "What's up?" Thierry's in the house. Hey, friends.
Is the aggressive dad wave like this?
I think so.
Why, bud? Put her there, pal.
Greetings from the northeast of England. Dirty Ross Williams drove from Windsor to Toronto to see you guys at the Elmo last year. One of the best musical experiences I've ever had. We had a really great show that night.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, we had a really, really good time. Okay, we got people in the house. I'm going to do it, Joe.
Cue the music.
Cue the tunes, y'all.
Our friends on Instagram, you're not going to hear the music, but oh, there it is.
Oh, I don't have my headphones on.
Come on, put your headphones on. Nice. I thought you said it wasn't going to be glitchy.
It shouldn't be.
No?
It's on our end. It should be loud and clear to everyone else.
All right.
Is that good? Live fade? Oh, that wasn't as smooth as I had hoped to be.
Whoa. Pulling you from the astral plane, Dave and Joe Landreth. Welcome, friends, to Karate in the Garage 2023, baby.
Yeah.
When was the last Karate in the Garage we did?
Don't remember, but it's been a minute.
Did we do one in 22?
We might have.
We might have done. Yeah. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, to the folks on Instagram, you can't, just because of the limitations to our TV studio, you can't hear the intro music. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, or I think we're on Twitter, maybe. Elon Musk just heard our intro music, but you wonderful folks on Instagram have sadly missed it. I apologize.
So sorry about that. But just imagine that it was there and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really have no MO. We haven't even talked about what we wanted.
We haven't even at all talked about what we're going to talk about.
We just set everything up.
We spent 2 hours setting up, and now we're here, and we're like, well, see you next time.
We've been chatting about this, and this is something that we've just enjoyed doing and have missed. We've been very busy, as a lot of you folks will know. Joey and I are both dads, and we have young families, and they take up all of our energy and time.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way of phrasing that, because it sounds like a chore. It's exactly the thing that we want to be spending all of our time doing.
Yeah.
But it also feels like we're firing things up a little bit. We're crawling out of a hibernation and getting ready to get back to work this year.
Yeah.
Which is exciting and nerve-wracking and fantastic, but that's sort of the energy. So a perfect way to kick it off with a visit from Karate in the Garage.
There you go.
Yeah.
So this whole episode, Dave and I we've cleared off an area, and we're just going to brother wrestle until the first guy gets so frustrated that he starts to cry, and then whoever's not crying will be deemed the heavyweight champion of the world.
Great. Let's hear it in the comments. Who do you think's coming out on top?
Yeah.
Who do you think's coming out on top?
Dave has got patience and strategy, but I have the strength and the will of the baby brother.
Yeah. I'm getting from folks that were hard to hear on Instagram. I think we just need to maybe we'll speak at the phone a little more. We're going to throw our voices. That's good. That's good to know.
That is good to know.
We're mixing for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear us now?
We do our own production.
Yeah.
We do our own production here.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
We threatened to answer. Maybe this is a great launching off point. We threatened to answer questions from Patreon.
Okay.
Let me just hold on. Check this out. Look at that. Join us on Patreon. For those who can see it. Again, you can't see that on Instagram.
No, but just know that there's a banner below our faces that sends you to a link where we'll personally send you e-transfers of random amounts of money, anywhere from $100 to $1,000. So patreon.com/thebrotherslanders. Don't forget to sign up.
You don't want to miss it.
Oh, and if you live in a place other than Canada, we can't e-transfer you, but we'll high five you. I'm kidding. Nobody's getting e-transfers. That's not happening.
This is fun. Good to see so many familiar faces in the chat already. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm gonna go pull up the questions from Patreon. We'll use that as a place to dive in. Sound good?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, is the Instagram phone in wide angle?
It is.
Why don't we just bring it closer then?
It's actually about as tight as it can get. Any closer, and you'll miss our faces. It's just getting the two of us in the frame. So give me a sec, folks. I'm going to bring up some of these questions, and we'll just we'll wrap on that a little bit. And anybody anywhere, feel free to drop some questions in the comments, and we'd be happy to sort of let you direct the conversation. The idea is that this is kind of like a conversation between Joey and I, but also with you. We're just here to wax poetic, shoot the breeze.
Come on, we're hanging out. What's a few questions between friends on the internet?
Right?
Nothing. There's nothing in between us.
Let me pull up this thing. And how do I? There it is.
All right. While Dave's figuring that out, I'll engage on the burning question. My string gauges are 19 to 60. I tune to open C. I'm just kidding. I'm just being a bit of an a-hole.
I did have a sassy.
Oh, we have a banner. We have a banner for that.
I have a banner for this. Hold on.
But the real answer to your question, that's really fun.
I'm having way too much fun with this. Okay.
With the banner. So those who can't see the banner, it says our name and then our string gauges in brackets beside it. It's a comedic gold. I do want to engage really quickly. I was thinking about the string gauge question because I do get it a lot.
Okay.
People are always asking, what's the deal with the string gauges? And I think the more important question is, why do I do it? Why do I tune the way that I tune, and what's with, and the answer is curiosity. You know, a friend of mine used loaned me a guitar one day, Champagne James Robertson, and he was tuned down to open C. It was really cool. I was super inspired by it. So I started setting up. I asked his permission, said, hey, would this bug you if I did this? And he said, no, because I got it from somebody else. And, but the main thing was that it fired me up. Yeah. And so I started trying things. And so if you want to tune in a lower tuning, you should. And don't bother buying the same strings as me because your hands are different and the way you play is going to be different. And I landed there because that's what was comfortable. Yeah. And I think most people who are like, oh, I went and bought some of your strings, the next message I get is, why do you do this?
Why do you do this?
This is awful. And it is. It makes your guitars play like shit. But, you know, it was curiosity. And for me, that's what I like. So I think if you want to tune your guitar up to A, do it. Who cares? Yeah. Just have fun.
I remember reading an article by Blake Mills where he talked about treating every single guitar differently. Yeah. And sort of like picking up the guitar and trying a bunch of different string gauges and tunings until he felt like he had found the most inspired setup for that instrument. And that's what sort of led him. I don't know if that's still true, but
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
And at the time I thought that was so cool. Like you just sort of pick up an instrument and just figure out how to set it up so that it speaks to you. And you listen to it and go, that is the most authentic voice for that instrument.
Yeah. I literally do the opposite thing. I set every single guitar up exactly the same, but I do let the instrument kind of speak in terms of like, there are certain guitars in my collection. that when I set them up for C, like my acoustics, they don't like it. You know,
Right.
no matter what gauge I've experimented with all the like half gauges, and they just don't like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with the intonation. Like you can't mess with the bridge the way you can with an electric guitar, and it just doesn't work. So all my acoustics are almost exclusively in D. My callings, my OM1 doesn't mind being in D flat, so I'll record it there. But it's not about what keys I like to play in. It's just how the instrument speaks. And I've always felt like, the first time I tuned my guitar down to E flat after getting super into Stevie Ray Vaughan or Hendrix, or so many people do that, it was like, oh yeah, and the guitar actually does want to be tuned down. And so anyway, I start with everything being set up the same way with the same strings. And then if it's not working, then I'll try something else.
Okay.
There you go. So chase your curiosity. That's today's episode of Karate in the Garage is brought to you by Curiosity. And the Sony C38B. It's a great microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab the questions from Patreon. I'm going to put them up on the screen. Anthony Best asks, will we see another run of the Two-Rock JL signature amp?
Cool question. No, we won't. This is a limited edition thing. And we really only thought we'd be able to sell 100 of them. So
there you go.
There you go.
Good question.
No, the whole point behind the signature run was that we were going to do it as a limited thing. You may see a Two-Rock amp show up with very similar. You might see something show up in their lineup somewhere down the road, with a harmonic tremolo or a bias tremolo circuit in there.
Not necessarily the JL sig.
No, and the whole thing about that collaboration was that we wanted it to be a limited run, and
so it was,
and so it is, and there are still amps available out in the world, right? But Two-Rock, wow.
Nice.
Today's episode of Karate in the Garage is brought to you by Self Chiropractic Treatment. All of the amps are now spoken for by dealers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so if you want one, call your local dealer.
Okay, I got another one. I like this one. Keith Wilkinson, our buddy Keith, out in Windsor, asks, who is your favorite Ninja Turtle and why? And you know what? I'm going to answer for you, and you answer for me.
Yeah.
Joey loved Leonardo. Leonardo was the charismatic, empathetic leader of the Ninja Turtles. I think you were drawn to him because he was such a wonderful role model. He was positive. He used his brains to rally the team. He was the de facto captain of the Ninja Turtles squad.
Yeah.
Who did I love and why?
I love this, and then maybe we can confirm the actual reason why.
Okay.
Dave, yours was Raphael.
Yeah.
He was the broody, moody. He was a bit of a wild card.
Yeah. Black sheep.
He was the black sheep.
Sorry, I won't speak. I won't speak for you. Speaking for me.
Yeah. Cut it out. Frig off. He always followed his heart. He wasn't afraid to break the rules. He had an aptly tuned. Apt? No. Insert the appropriate adjective here. Tuned moral compass. Yeah. And yeah.
And his okay.
And also he had
size. Yeah, size was sweet.
Size.
Okay, confirm or deny. Was I on the right path? Why did you like Leonardo? Why were you drawn to Leonardo?
The color blue.
And also blue is your favorite color.
Yeah, and
chicken and egg though. Was it blue because Leonardo, or did you love Leonardo because you love blue?
Listen, no, I also loved the blue Power Ranger.
Okay.
And my favorite dinosaur was a Triceratops because he was associated with the blue Power Ranger.
All right, my turn.
The color red.
No, I liked the color red because Raphael was red, not the other way around. So that was the impetus for the color red. And in fact, couldn't argue that I actually prefer the color red. I think generally I lean towards blues. I enjoy a blue, even a green over a red.
Would you say that you have the blues?
Boom, 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 boom.
Would you say that you are the blues? Sorry, for our Instagram friends, I moved closer to the microphone. I
am the blues.
Dave is the blues.
On on topic here. And I was definitely drawn to his moody, sarcastic nature. I thought he was kind of the
may I
kind of the outsider.
May I interject?
No.
Okay,
go ahead.
I think Raphael was the turtle you wanted to be.
He was, yeah.
But you were a bit of a bookworm. You were very smart, very, very calculated.
I was more of a Donatello.
You're more of a Donatello, to be truthful.
But I wanted to be a Raphael.
But you wanted to be a Raphael.
Yeah,
you were projecting.
I was. Next question. I'm going through our questions in
chronological order.
Yeah, from
alphabetical order.
Yeah, something like that. Give me a sec. We'll rip through these because I know some other folks have questions too. Stefan Leeson, apologies if I'm saying that wrong, says, when in Europe the next time will you be coming to Stockholm or any other Swedish venue? What is it that makes it harder for you to book gigs in Sweden? You regularly play Denmark. I'll answer. Sorry. We actually will try and get to Sweden on this next trip.
We fundamentally disagree with Sweden as a concept.
Oh God, roll it back.
I'm absolutely kidding.
He's kidding.
We would love to get to Sweden.
We would. The challenge that we face with our touring calendar is that, unlike a lot of bands, well, not unlike a lot of bands, I think there are more of us out there than. I don't think we are the minority at all, but there are only so many dates on the calendar that we can be away from home, and so we play this really difficult game of trying to get to as many places as we can with very limited time, because we don't want to be away too much. We desperately want to get out and play, and we'll talk about upcoming tour and stuff and how excited we are to hit the road and play. But the challenge for us is that we are always balancing the most effective way to go out and tour. So we've got a bit of an established circuit in Europe, and we're always looking to try and push that out just get a little bit further. And the idea is that as you develop your career, instead of playing, like I think the last time we were in the UK, we maybe did 6 or 8 shows.
Yeah.
Eventually you get to a place where you do 3 or 4, and you hope that people will come from some of those surrounding communities and come see you when you play in Liverpool, come see you when you play in London, maybe you go up to Glasgow or Ireland.
When I first started playing in the UK, I would do an entire month's worth of touring
in the UK alone.
Yeah, I'd play 15 or 20 shows. Yeah. And now we're down to, under 10. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully that'll mean that we can get a little further into Scandinavia and further into Europe too. I mean, we'd love to see France and Italy, and
there's a ton of places.
There's so many places. There are other countries that I could name, but
Joey knows a lot of countries.
I know lots of countries.
He's basically a walking atlas. So hopefully that answers your question. Good one.
I was so kidding about disagreeing with Sweden
you're gonna
I'm gonna pay for that.
I'm gonna suffer for
I
that
love
one.
Swedish people. I love them.
Okay. Benjamin Kirkham says, whoops.
Oh, hey, we should put up our banner.
I don't know if he's here. Benjamin? Are you around?
Ben? Yeah.
Is he kicking around? Let me just see.
That's him.
Well, he asked a question, but I don't know for sure that he's
Ben, are you still in here? Hop into the comments sections, boo boo.
Oh, he is. Yeah, Ben's here. Okay, look what we did for you, Ben. Just
look at this. Look at this banner. Instagram friends.
I'll leave it rolling underneath. You can show your kids later. The question is, in the early Landreth period, did you guys ever use cassette 4-track machines to make demos? And if so, are you willing to share? And if not, what is the most low-tech recording gear you've used /own?
We never did. I mean, I had Dad's old Tascam 4-track.
That's right. Yep.
When I would have been in grade 8, grade 9, and I messed around with that for a little while, but I wasn't interested in recording at all at that point. I was so hyper focused on playing guitar. So our demoing and song ideas and stuff like that, we were already iPhone users by the time we were writing songs. So the earliest song, Brothers Landreth song demo we would have would be a voice memo, but we have a lot of that still.
Yeah. And interestingly, when we were coming up as a band, there was a real push towards a return to really lo-fi rustic production.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Black Keys record had just come out, and that was the new sound of Roots and Americana. Jack White, the Black Keys, and there was this real return to a lo-fi approach. Or not even lo-fi, but it's just like that effect, that sort of like textured, growly analog thing. And is it safe to say that we've never really been bitten by that bug? We were raised on really pristine, great sounding. I won't say great sounding because that's subjective, but really pristine, clean studio records. We grew up on Little Feat and Steely Dan,
Bonnie Raitt,
like, and these were not records that sounded like they were recorded in a barn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I think that like there is a charm, you know, those Black Keys records, and who knows? I mean, like maybe I'm totally talking out of my, you know what? But
no, what?
Who is Hugh?
Leave him out of this.
Get out of here, Hugh Laurie. I loved you as Dr. House.
It was so good, yeah.
So good. You've got conjunctivitis.
He's got a jazz record. He's got a piano record out.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah,
he's not bad. He was also one of the henchmen in the...
Guy Pearce has a blues record.
Uh-oh.
Carry on.
I've got the successful actor blues. My bank account's empty. Just kidding. Sorry, really like that's not fair. I bet you it's really good. He's in a new show right now that's very good.
Yeah, the Spy Show.
Let's
stay on topic. We're talking about lo-fi.
I am staying on topic. I'm getting to a point, and the point is that if you spy on the Black Keys, you might... No, I'm just kidding. I feel like that whole like lo-fi thing was to return to sort of the sounds of these older blues records and capture more of like a raw performance. Because, you know, back in the, like, when Robert Johnson was making records, it was like a microphone in a room, and what you get's what you get. Full warts and all, you know. I mean, there's that great recording of Etta James, even like on what's the song? I'd Rather Go Blind, where she, like, you can hear all of the gear distorting and they're just capturing a moment. And I think that's really, really cool. But that's not, you know, we were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about like sort of starting to conceptualize what our next record is going to be like, and sort of reflecting on making our last record come morning, and realizing that, like, wow, on one hand, we are like an extremely live band. You know, we're going out as a trio. We're doing a lot of jamming and a lot of like explorative stuff. But when it comes down to making records, like, we are actually, we don't necessarily want to make that record. Yeah. We like the chasing our curiosity around, hey, this episode of Karate in the Garage is brought to you by Curiosity. Again,
the letter C.
The letter C.
For curiosity.
C is for curiosity.
And chlorine.
Sure is.
Should we do another question?
Let's do another question. Otherwise, I'll just talk about Hugh Laurie some more.
Sean Watkins.
We
know him. We love him. Sean says, Joey, you've gotten into producing. Do you enjoy that? Do you ever find your patience being taxed, or vice versa? Is the band artist ever noticeably resistant to your input?
Interesting. Good questions. I mean, I'm fairly new to producing. I've only, you know, aside from sort of producing or co-producing our own stuff, I've only really worked on 2 different projects with you know, with other artists. And I mean, I haven't experienced, like, it's not like there's you have to fight for stuff. I mean, sometimes you have to, I found that I've had to, like, I can't just say, hey, let's do something this way, and have somebody who cares deeply about their art and about their artistry just go, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, you make all the decisions. Like, I'm not working with people who want to make music that way. So it's very collaborative. And what I've kind of settled on as a producer, and I think working on the projects that I have has really taught me that it's not necessarily about finding the right idea and having it and saying, here's my idea, this is what we should do. It's not about me being right. It's about finding what's right for the song, but also for the artist. And, you know, what I discovered is, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that my idea is the right one. And what I kind of trust is, like, you know, a moment I can think about is, like, when I was working with Ollie and Joachim, you know, we're working on this tune, and we're working on the arrangement, and I was saying, like, this section isn't working the way that I want it to. It's not quite speaking. So why don't we try this? And I remember Ollie kind of saying, yeah, I hear you, but I don't think I want to do that. And I was like, cause he's a really brilliant artist he knows what he wants. He also trusts me a lot, but he also knows what he wants and he knows what he doesn't want. And so in that moment, I realized like, okay, well, I have to let go of my idea and keep searching, because I think the concept is that this section is not working, but also my idea is not going to work. So it's not about it being my job to find the right thing to do. It's my job to facilitate the finding of the right thing to do. So, I don't know if that really even directly answers your question, but that,
I think it was just, the question was just kind of asking about your experience as a producer. So
yeah,
that's a fun anecdote.
Yeah, there you go.
Good question, Sean. Sean also asked, I'm not going to drag it in the comments here, but Sean says, have you ever had to use your boxing skills on the road, either against each other or to fend off some crazy fan? Joey, you should tell the story about being outside 7-Eleven and having somebody attempt to mug you. That was pre-boxing, mind you.
That was pre-boxing.
But you used skills that you seemingly developed from watching action films.
From coming up on the streets. No, we used to hang around with, well, we still do hang around with a buddy of ours named Gaz Black, who is a martial arts guy. I mean, he's so much more than that, but he got his beginning, I guess, in martial arts, and then he developed a self-defense thing, a self-defense sort of methodology that's really, really brilliant and beautiful and respectful and not at all what you would kind of expect. But I was on the road. I was in Saskatoon. I was playing. No, I'm sorry, I was not in Saskatoon. I was in Regina. I was playing at
Drax, sorry,
at the Pump, which we called the Stomach Pump for obvious reasons. And we were staying at the hotel on Victoria and like kind of right downtown. And I was walking up. Back in those days, I still smoked cigarettes, so I was walking up to the 7-Eleven at like 3:00 in the morning to go get a pack of smokes, and a guy asked me to bum a cigarette, and when I reached into my pocket of my hoodie, he grabbed my hands, and I struck him down. Great. I don't really want to celebrate that, no, we don't have to. It's a bad moment for everybody involved, but okay. Yeah, I'm basically a ninja and a Jedi, so
okay, look out. A few more questions, and we're going to open it up to everybody else.
Okay.
Mike Litton asks, hey bros, what's your favorite wholesome funny studio moment from one of Joey's album recordings or a bro's album recording session? Also, who do I have to fight to make something happen between you two and Jacob Collier?
Nobody has to fight. We would do it. I feel like he would probably be very bored.
I don't know. I think we'd give him a run for his money.
I mean, if we were in the boxing ring, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. First we box, then we produce a record.
What note was that?
C sharp.
Quit hitting yourself. I don't know why I'm just envisioning us bully him. That's not in our nature.
That's your insecurity speaking.
100%.
Yeah. What favorite wholesome funny studio moment?
I mean, there's so many burps and farts caught like in the intros and outros of songs.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
I don't know. Honest. I'm sure I know we have a lot of fun when we make records, but it's actually kind of serious.
It's very serious.
We kind of do get pretty serious about it when it's time to actually work. I mean, when we're just sort of like, when we hang up the instruments and we're sitting back at the back of the room and just sort of kibitzing, stuff gets pretty ridiculous. Nothing jumps out to me immediately.
No, I feel like, we're maybe the idea, like when you think of, if you've never been on a recording session or something, and maybe your idea might be like, a clip from the movie Almost Famous, where like all the band's in one huge room and there's just microphones hanging off the stands and everybody's smoking and drinking whiskey. The reality is it looks like this. You have headphones on, your microphone catches everything, so you're trying really hard not to move. Like, you learn which belts are squeaky.
Yeah.
And which pants.
Pro tip, no belt.
Yeah, don't wear a belt. Make sure your pants aren't, working with somebody recently who had a bad habit of going like this. You're like, hey man, you can't nose breathe right into them. So there's nothing. Everybody's just trying so hard not to make any noise. That's the point.
Okay.
So sorry, no exciting stories.
If anything comes to mind, we'll share.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, it's
mostly just like 1, 2, 3.
Thierry bought us a coffee on YouTube. Send us $20. Thanks, man.
Ah,
Dude,
too good.
too kind.
What a babe.
Let me check in on Instagram.
I'm sure there's lots going on there.
Yeah, I'm apologizing to anybody that feels like we're neglecting them. We're managing a million different platforms here.
And we're our own moderators, and I'm basically like a wind-up doll. If you just pull the string, I just never shut up.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. We're here to chat. We're here to kibitz. Okay, so let's have it. Let's have some questions either on Instagram or on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever the heck you are experiencing this thing.
This phenomenon.
Can
people confirm, are we talking loud enough for you on Instagram?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. We'll try and find a better solution for the Instagram thing. There's got to be a way to pipe the audio in.
Hey Ben K says, Joey, did you read the book? I'm assuming that's an inside reference.
Oh, Ben gave me a book when we were in Wales. And no, Ben, I don't think I did. I think it's probably still in my suitcase.
Well, as long as it's not in Wales.
Thanks for the no, it's not in Wales.
Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. What is the title of that book? I'm gonna go looking for it when I get home.
I bet you Ben will remind you.
Sorry, Ben.
Oh, I love
and
this.
Thank you for that.
James Anderson says, Anderson says, Joey is so badass that Chuck Norris has a poster of him hanging on his wall. That is fantastic.
I think my favorite Chuck Norris thing was Chuck Norris is such a badass that when he falls in the water, he doesn't get wet. The water gets Chuck Norris.
That's good. That's good. Oh, this is Ben Kirkman, I think. Hey, Ben K? Ben Kirkman? Are we talking? Kirkham. Oh, sorry. Ben Kirkham. The book is Flip.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ben's on multiple platforms.
Oh, okay. You
Ben,
double dipping son of a...
Jose asks, do you guys dig the work of Nick Drake?
You know what? I don't know enough about Nick Drake to say yes or no. I know that he's beloved.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I don't listen. I'm not a devout fan. I don't know all the records, but I enjoy Nick Drake. It's a vibe. Nick Drake is a vibe.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Jeremy Penner asking, have you guys sparred against each other at the boxing club?
Yeah, they separated us after a while because
it wasn't going well.
Yeah, you just don't, brothers in the boxing gym. It's always like, guys, getting a little heavy. We're like, huh?
It really every time it's true they did separate us. No, we can't. Yeah, it just gets out of hand.
Well, and it's like there's the brother thing, but then there's also we're fairly competitive, like not like
only
but against each other. Yeah, so it's just like. And then like one guy's like, "Oh, you're hitting me too hard," and then the other guy starts heavying it up, and then all of a sudden you're hitting and then the teacher's like, "Guys, somebody's gonna get hurt," and then you end up socking the teacher, and then you get suspended for a year. It's like crazy.
Oh boy. Great segue. I was looking for this question. Jimmy Sexton over on YouTube saying, "Will you bring pedals to sell on your next trip to East Coast US?" What a wonderful segue. Yes, we're gonna have High Road Fuzzes.
I think we're gonna have and
I think we'll have Mjolnirs.
Yeah, Mjolnir. Actually, now I'm self-conscious about how you say it.
Mjolnir.
I can.
Zach from Mythos is sending us a couple of boxes of pedals that we will be dragging around on the road. Both of them Joey Landris SIGs, right?
Yeah.
The Mjolnir and the High Road Fuzz. Both beautiful.
Idiot.
One's a drive, one's a fuzz.
Correct. Yeah. One's the Zach's Mjolnir it's like it's a variety of Klon. So,
cool.
And the story behind the JL sort of collab Mjolnir is that when Zach was the very first American to travel to see the Brothers Landreth. So
yes.
So we were playing in Nashville. We had booked a couple of random shows. We were like our whole thing was like, let's go down to Nashville and play some shows and have our hearts broken and come back to Canada with our tails between our legs. And we ended up leaving that trip with what we didn't realize at the time, but the best record deal we would ever have, short of the ones that we gave ourselves when we started our own label. But at our first showcase, Zach Broyles was there, and he was like, I'm a big fan of the band, and was like, I can't believe that you're a fan of the band. I didn't think anybody knew who we were down here.
Yeah.
And so we hit it off because he's a brilliant guitar player, and so we connected. But at the end of our little hang, he said, also, I build pedals. Can I send you one to try? And that was my orange.
Did he not come down with one?
What?
Did he not give you one that night?
No, he mailed it to your house, your old place on Nassau.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history. So we're doing we've done a bunch of smaller versions, orange with cream knobs, but we're doing the big box version with cream knobs.
Which is a little more like the shape of the original Klon.
Yeah. Cool. Well, not close to the original shape of the original Klon, but close to the original that he sent me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The reason I like that segue is because you're asking about tour dates. And as I mentioned earlier, tour dates are definitely top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that we are going to be announcing some tour dates tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Cat's out of the bag. Meow. Meow. Meow.
Did you just say Mjolnir, but as a meow?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Which, keep your eyes peeled for socials. We will be rolling out dates for we are going to be on tour, at various points throughout the year. Some really fun stuff coming up. Some really fun stuff, actually. Some really, really, really fun stuff. Can't talk about it all.
It's all very top secret.
Very hush, hush, top secret. But, rest assured, I know if you've been looking for tour dates, it looks a little light, but we are getting out, and we're going to do some, we're going to do some sort of Midwest and East US tour dates in May. And then later on in the year, we will be getting out west. Can't talk about it yet, but we will finally be getting out to the West Coast and seeing some of that West Coast USA.
Yeah, so tell your neighbors and tell your friends, because we're gonna need help. It's been a while since we've toured. Out that way.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eyes peeled, and as soon as we announce dates, just guilt people into coming to shows. Just tell them how hungry we are, and that we have
how hungry our kids are.
2 young children who are very hungry, and
I've switched to kibble for Finn. Times are lean.
Yeah, Joni will eat anything as long as it's yogurt.
No, but for real, like we are a very grassroots project. We exist as a band because of all of the hilarious and lovely folks like you that are out here in the internet listening to us, and all the folks that show up at shows. We truly do exist off of that word of mouth and always have.
Yeah.
And that really is that's our superpower, is the best fans in the biz.
Truly.
So yeah, keep an eye out for those dates for those of you, and we haven't forgot about the rest of you either. We've got stuff in Canada. We're going to Australia.
Yeah,
in a month.
Finally looking so forward to that.
We I don't know that we'll catch any Australians with this time. It's rather late.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. on the West Coast.
So, or something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some of them will see it later, but yeah, Australia. We got Canada and the US, and we have Europe as well before the year is done. So we'll get to just about everywhere, and we're going along.
Except for Antarctica.
Not this year.
The penguins won't see the bros.
Uncle Arctica. Okay. Anyways, thanks for indulging me on the segue. Wanted to pitch the tour dates that come in. Also, okay, so I posted a playlist. on our Instagram stories yesterday. It's easily the most clever thing that I've ever done.
It's too clever. So
go to the playlist and actually look at it. Look at it, absorb it, and tell me what you see.
Dave.
I'm so proud of that.
Dave sent me the link to the playlist, and I looked at it, and I was like, "This is the most pretentious shit I've ever seen." And then I got the joke.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what flex is this? Like that you're listening to Kurt Weill and friggin' what's his name?
Yeah. It's all over, but it's not about that. Just go check it out.
It's not about the songs, and I'm sorry that I thought that about you.
Okay, lots of great questions over here. I'm gonna snag a couple. Sorry, so many questions. I paralyzed here.
Today's episode is brought to you by Questions.
Hey Joey, favorite budget amp, like $300 range.
Whoa.
I'm Joey 2 BTW, by the way.
Oh.
Budget amp.
These are the Joes that I know.
What would you do?
$300?
That's tough.
I mean, I guess there's some nice DIs out there.
Is there not an amp? Is there not an amp you can get for $300? Maybe US 300. Call it 425.
500. I don't really know. Like something that would maybe Black Star makes something in that range. They make nice stuff.
Yeah.
At reasonable prices.
Okay.
Honestly, you can make just about anything work. But you really have to be in touch with what your hands are doing. So I think like if you can find an amp for $300, and it can be solid state too. It doesn't have to be a tube amp. It doesn't have to be. You just have to kind of. What I tell people is like get your fingers on the strings. Maybe drop your pick and play a variety of different dynamics. So play loud, but play quietly, and see what the amp is giving you. That to me is to be able to plug into just about anything, including going direct and getting a sound that you can make work is far more important than finding a piece of gear that does a particular thing or is in within a, so
we got some folks saying
any $300 amp will do. Just spend some time with it.
We got some suggestions in the comments that I think are good. A Boss Katana.
Yeah. I was going to say
a used Blues Junior. Couple folks go in that direction.
Oh yeah.
Somebody even saying I paid $300. Jeremiah Higgins says I paid $300 for my used Blues Junior.
Hey, there you go. Blues Juniors are great amps.
And a Vox Pathfinder.
That I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's great. And I think they also may have made, I think Blues Juniors have 12-inch speakers in them, maybe. But one thing a friend of mine used to do is he picked up an extension cab that was a little bit bigger, because I think one of the things that people don't like about Blues Juniors is that because the cabinets are physically small, they don't produce a lot of bottom end. And so you plug into one and kind of go, oh, it doesn't have that thump. But if you plug into a slightly bigger cabinet, they actually sound so good.
Yeah. That makes sense.
There you go. Yeah, I love that. Okay, yeah, use Blues Junior. That's probably what I would do if I had $300 and needed to pick up an amp.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Joey and or Dave would Joey and or Dave consider doing a guitar break again?
What do you mean?
Guitar break? Guitar break? That's the thing in Italy you did, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're actually working on it.
Yeah, we are working on it.
It may or may not happen, but
who was asking
that? Venice King 1.
Venice King 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Yes, we're actually hoping to do it this year, but it may end up happening next.
Okay. Haver says Jeff Beck used to use Pro Juniors.
There you go. Jeff Beck knew a thing or two about tone. Rest in peace, man. It's been a hard year. It's been a hard year for losing the greats. David Lindley the other day. That hit me.
Is there a song? This is a great question. This is from Stephen John Hyatt. Stephen John Hyatt. John Hyatt. Stephen? Is that you, John? No.
Slow turning.
If you could have written somebody else's song and it had been yours, whose, which one, and why? I guess it's a roundabout way of saying, like, what is another song that you just absolutely love?
Absolutely.
Vampires by Jason Isbell.
Oh, that's such a good song.
It's so good. It's flawless.
Man, that Better Than song by Lake Street Dive. I've always loved that song.
Ooh. Da-da-dum.
Yeah. Better than being some fool's bride.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Her and Taylor are having a baby.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, that's Rachel Price is married to a guy from Winnipeg. That's something that people from Winnipeg... He's not from Winnipeg?
Not a Winnipegger.
What?
No.
What?
Taylor's not a Winnipegger. He's just spent a lot of time here.
Does he have family here? His parents live here? Where's he from?
I think he's from the coast. I'll have to ask you. I don't think he's from Winnipeg. I think he's just a guy who spent a lot of time here.
Well, this is case in point. Winnipeggers love to claim people as their own, including people who are not. So, yeah.
Oh, Joe, you're catching some fire here. The Blues Junior is 12 inches and 15 watts. 12 inches. I think you misquoted the size of the speaker. You're getting some hell in the comments section.
What I said was, I can't remember if it has a 12-inch speaker or not. Thank you very much.
Okay. I might be putting a lot in here.
No, it's okay. I'm ready to fight now.
Rogier Vanderbreek. Apologies for butchering last names. Please just...
James Vanderbeek. Varsity Blues
says, "Hey Dave, started playing bass a few months ago, and I see why you do as well. Because it's the greatest.
Because it's the easiest.
I have a Fender J. What do you have? Why did you pick it? And how do you shape your sound? Let's talk bass.
Bass talk, baby.
I've got two. I'm basically using 2 or 3 basses right now that I've been going back and forth between. I have a Duesenberg Star Player, which is a short scale semi-hollow bass with humbuckers. That is just so fun. And I always describe it to people as like a modern take on a Hofner bass, except for it plays fantastic and plays in tune and has none of the sort of temperamental isms of a Hofner bass.
Yeah.
So I prefer it, and it's really sturdy. I've toured the snot out of that thing, and it comes out of the bag in tune every time. It's just amazing. I really love the Duesenberg stuff. I also have a Duesenberg Motown, which is new. They lent it to me in Hamburg, and they're still asking for it back, and they probably won't get it. It's the weirdest bass. It's like playing a giant paddle. I feel like I'm playing a mariachi bass. I feel so silly, but it sounds awesome.
It's awesome. It's such a great guitar.
It's got single coils and a long scale, or like a standard scale length, which I'm kind of unaccustomed to after playing that short little scale Duesenberg. But it's a monster bass, and it just growls in all the right ways, and I just adore it. And then I've got a P bass, a Mulan P bass, which is made by a dude in Korea.
Yeah.
And it is just, in my take, sort of like the one of the best sort of sounding modern P basses out there. Does the vintage thing without any of the pratfalls of owning a vintage instrument, like the price or
the insurance policy,
the temperament of them. They can be really sort of persnickety. So that's my arsenal of basses. And then I've actually got a couple on the way. I've got a Cathara Samson.
Oh yeah,
coming. And I have another one that I can't talk about.
Top secret, baby.
Top secret. That's also very fun. So I've got a couple new basses coming.
Don't even ask him about it.
As far as tone sculpting goes, I like really warm sounds. Increasingly, I like more and more drive on the bass sound, especially in the trio setting. I like a little bit of hair on it. It just sort of cuts through a little nicer.
Well, I think something too that happened with the Motown bass, because you've always gone for like a really round kind of tubby, big thing, and that Motown bass really has like a sustain and a top end kind of presence that I don't think we've really heard come from you before.
No,
but it works really well.
It does, yeah.
In that setting in particular, like the tubby round thing works better in a bigger band because you kind of occupy a more specific space.
Yeah, just sort of like lounge around with the bass drum.
Yeah,
and there's a lot more space. Or you need to leave a lot more space for the other instruments.
Would you say there's more space?
Bass space.
Would you spell it SBASS?
I wouldn't.
Space?
Like that pizza joint Sbarro?
Space. S''base.
Yeah. Space.
All right. That's the next Brothers Landry t-shirt.
You guys
give me some space. So dumb.
Get out of here. Hey Joe, are you still teaching? Because I didn't seem to find a tab to request a lesson like I did I had with you during COVID. I was in Paris. Are you still teaching online?
Yes.
Menudo Music.
Yeah, no, I haven't been teaching. I not that I don't love it. And I certainly will resume private lessons at some point, but things have just been so busy.
Yeah, we've been slammed. We came back from tour at the beginning of November, and we rested for a minute,
mm-hmm.
and then you went right into producing. Basically, you caught your breath and then went back into the studio to finish Leith's record.
Yeah,
and then Ollie's record,
yeah.
And then you did Festival de Voyageur, and the entire time I was working on record label stuff. And so, yeah, we're just kind of crawling out from under the fog of that. And
you know, in the online lessons, I absolutely adore doing them, but they were really at a time when I was able to do them more because there was less stuff going on. And now that we're sort of back up and running, it's just, there's not really time, but they will happen again. And if you're checking my website, that is the place to look. And if there aren't slots open, it's just because there isn't time right now.
And you'll announce on your socials too.
Yeah.
If you're opening up some lessons.
Yeah, for sure. So keep your eyes peeled on Instagram and all that.
Let's see. Let me just chat for a sec, Jill.
I'm not good at this.
Okay, I got one. I got one here. Easy Jacob Collier.
Him.
You guys doing any other dates in Australia after Byron's Blues Fest?
Yes. Can I talk about these?
I don't know.
I maybe can't talk about this, but there's a couple of little things. We are gonna do. I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about
Let's
Saturday thing?
Let's put it this way: we're working on a Saturday show in Brisbane. That is a kind of a clinic-esque thing. I don't know if it's going to come together yet or not. I know Stu, our manager, is in the process of working on that.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday, Joey's going to Sydney to do something, but just Joey, not the band.
Yeah, I'm doing something solo, and then
but that's sold out.
Right.
So
is it?
Yeah, it's sold out already. So it's hopping on another bill with an artist.
And I'm doing
but there aren't any tickets available.
I'm doing a little Q&A thing in Perth. I believe on the 12th of April. I have family out there, so I'm going to go and visit. And while I'm over, I'm just going to do a little Q&A thing. Probably play a 20-minute set and just hang out and talk and visit with people. So if you're on the West Coast, we'll announce where to get tickets and stuff for that at some point.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Daniel Pero, I imagine.
Hey,
Dano here. Dave, are you still using the red P base at all, or did Wally confiscate it? I still have it. I still have the red P base. I actually just got a new neck made for it because the neck was persnickety.
You're running out of use. You're running out of instances where you can use the word persnickety.
I'm gonna get my mileage out of it.
Twice in 1 hour is getting close.
Too much.
No, not too much, but it's getting close. Listen, it's getting close.
Too much. Yeah, I still have it. New neck, thanks to
Al Beardsell.
Yeah. And Lucas Rogers. I think Al built it.
I think he builded it.
That's how my son would say it. Breaking Genetics on Instagram says, from Landreth to Landreth, shout out from San Diego relative.
Hey,
yeah,
San Diego means a whale. Just kidding.
Philip Mollet. I'm sorry, man, I don't know how to pronounce your name either. I see it all the time because you're hanging out with us on Patreon, but I don't know. I've never said it out loud. Asks who is your favorite drummer?
My favorite drummer?
Yeah.
Or our favorite drummer?
Why don't we both answer?
Dang. I mean, buffering.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go while you're thinking. Democratic answer, and not trying to be diplomatic, but truly, I couldn't say just one.
Yeah.
Because it would just immediately dismiss all these other incredible players. So I'm just going to rifle off a handful of drummers, both lesser and very well known, that I really, really love. Ryan Voth is one of my favorite drummers that's ever
the OG
played the drums. Roman Clark, who's currently playing in our band right now, is so musical and dynamic and exciting and funny. His playing to me is just very, very alive and really fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Daniel Roy is one of my favorite.
Who played on a bunch of tunes on Come Morning.
Played on three songs on the new record.
Obviously, Aaron Sterling.
Aaron Sterling, obviously very well-known drummer.
Yeah, also played on our record.
Jim
Keltner,
one of my all-time favorite drummers.
Richie Hayward from Little Feat.
Brian Blade.
Ooh.
Brian Blade.
Brian Blade.
He's about as cool as they come.
Steve Jordan
is also one of my absolute favorites. I remember when that
Questlove.
Yeah, Questlove. Lots of faves.
Yeah. Many favorites.
I don't want to have to pick.
They're just all favorites.
Yeah. Lots of other folks who've come through the band. Curtis Noasad, living in New York City, is out on tour with Braxton Cook right now, is an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Mike Carbone in Toronto has done some time with the
Michael
band.
Carbone, well. Love him. He played in my solo band a whole bunch when I was living in Toronto. Just absolutely adore him as a drummer and a person.
Yeah. Heavy. So many. I mean, there's so many incredible musicians. Yeah. You know what I also really love? Jordan Rose.
Oh yeah, plays with Theo.
Plays with Theo and a bunch of those guys.
Total monster.
I love his
Terrifying.
feel. Every time I hear him playing drums, he has that weight that I think so few guys have. He just has a weight to his groove. And I saw him play with Theo in Toronto with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was just incredible. I just love his feel and groove. And he seems like a really sweet guy. I bet you we'd be friends.
Yeah. I've talked to him on the internet a whole bunch. He's really nice. Carter McLean, also another guy I talked to on the internet who's an absolutely terrifying drummer.
Jesus. Yeah. He's a monster.
Yeah. Long list.
Christina Lux Official has asked, and she's asked a few times, so I apologize for not getting it early. What mic are you using for recording your voice in the studio? Sound is always so near and great.
We've used a variety of things. On the last record, we used a Warm Audio, used the WA67, which is their clone of a Neumann U67. We've used, there was a company based out of Winnipeg called Kel Audio, and they had a microphone called the Song Sparrow. And they were designed here and built overseas, and they were fairly affordable. And that's been a bit of a secret weapon in our arsenal.
Yeah.
Like we used that. That was the lead vocal sound on Let It Lie, was that microphone, and it was also the lead vocal sound on our very first demos. So you can, if you can get your hands on those early demos, you can hear how bad they can sound. And you can hear the progression of my ability to get vocal sounds.
It improved.
Yeah. And right now I got these C38Bs. These are from the 70s, I believe. I got a smoking deal on them, and they're my new favorite microphone, and I use them on I played Hammond organ on a session the other day, and I use them on the Leslie. I use them on my guitar cab. I use them I just did a background vocal session yesterday. It was so good. They're great. If you can get your hands on one of those, pretty awesome.
I got a question about the kids.
Yes.
Give me just a sec. From Katie in Chicago. Katie in Chicago, who is the only person who figured out the playlist thing. The only person who commented on it. Say, wait, are you?
So what you're saying
a cheeky way?
Is Katie's also a huge nerd.
A genius.
Nerd.
Genius. Katie's asking, says, how are the kids? Katie has a daughter that's about the same age as Finn.
Oh, wonderful.
And any particular instrument they're gravitating to? Finn is gravitating towards
trucks,
excavators.
Yeah. He really plays the excavator and the crane like a pro.
No, he is not particularly interested in music. He likes Puff the Magic Dragon.
Puff of the Magic Dragon.
Puff of the Magic Dragon, that, as he says. And he, you know what, he's been digging. They have a music teacher that goes to daycare a couple times a week, Miss Margot. And he always comes back really excited about learning songs from Miss Margot. So he's enjoying that music class. But at home, the dude is trucks and cars all day, all the time. Doesn't care to listen to music. If I put on music, often asks for me to turn it off.
There you go.
Yeah.
But he's such a focused guy. Like I mean, I can't listen to music while I'm doing heavy machinery either. So
yeah, I mean, you want to be. There's a handful of people that you really want to be focused when they're doing their job, and the guy who's like demolishing the high rise, and the heart surgeon, keep them well slept.
Yeah. Joni is she likes every musical instrument in the house. The ukulele, Dad's guitar. We have a piano and a mini Hammond organ. We have an M3, and she likes to play them all. But she particularly loves to sing. Today she sang like 14 choruses of ABCD, but the India Irie version on Sesame Street, the one with like the musical interlude, it's actually so heavy. She likes that one.
Yeah, she's got great taste in music.
She always starts like when she starts to sing, I'm just like, girl, show your range. She starts to sing, and it's like at the very top, and she's like, A, B, C, D. Her voice is always, it's the best. I have like 400 recordings of her doing ABCs, and it's just my favorite.
Why'd you pick that key? What were you thinking?
Listen, I know you think you're a soprano, but honey, I think you're an alto. It's okay. The world needs altos. Just like Daddy thought he was a tenor, but actually he's probably a baritone. Mezzo tenor? No, baritone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah.
We have talked about this before, but it is funny. As we imagined becoming fathers, I definitely thought a lot more about what place music would have in our lives. And until somebody asked the question, it doesn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
It is so much. There's just so little of what I want for it. Like, I mean, in the small moments, like, please get dressed. Please stop doing that. Please don't tip that plant.
Yeah.
Please don't
suck the boogers right out of your nose with your tongue. It's super gross.
Yeah. Like, all the way up to he's going to just do whatever it is that he wants. And I just love it and could care less. Like, I'm just so excited to chase his interest and his curiosity, which is a great callback to what we started the conversation with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think if I can build on that a little tiny bit, like, I would love to go on the record to say that there was a point in time in my life where I think my relationship with music was unhealthy for me, where my focus and my drive and determination, which has been an asset, it is responsible in part for my my skill on my instrument, but it got in the way of, I think it was a distraction for me from dealing with heavier things, and I used music as a way to numb some of the things that really needed my attention or someone's attention. And so for me, when it comes to music with my kid, I love that it brings her joy, and my hope for her is that if she pursues music, it's only in pursuit of that that joy. And I really, like, if I want to impart anything on her in terms of, like, if I have an idea of how I would like her to interact with music, it would be in a balanced way.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that. And it took me a long, till I started going to therapy in my 30s to really realize, like, oh, I put a lot on music, and I wasn't getting everything out of music because I was putting everything on music. And as soon as I started to explore what it means to have a more balanced life, being a parent was huge in that discovery, because nothing is more important to me than my family now. And I think that, bringing a child into the world really, really brings that into focus. But now I can enjoy music so much more than ever before, because it only has to be music now. It doesn't have to be everything. It doesn't have to be my identity and my, anyway.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
It's a beautiful philosophy, and I agree wholeheartedly. Balance is we talk about it so much, and it feels like such an abstract concept.
Yeah.
But it really is, you get to this wherever, is like raising young families. It's really, really important.
Yeah.
It's really, really important, because you just, like, you can be under a lot of stress as a parent, and trying to maintain that sense of equilibrium gives you the bandwidth to not murder your child. I had a good laugh about this with Roberta the other day. It's like, kids,
he says in passing.
Yeah. Kids have, like, I had no idea how close to violence I was as a child. Like,
at any given moment,
you have no idea that your parents are literally like one cup of coffee away from actually snapping and doing something heinous. You know what I mean? Like, that you teeter that edge far more than I expected to be. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I should get some more help. I'm going to grab a
Everybody
question.
is safe.
Everybody's like, what? No, you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. Don't leave me hanging here, guys. Question from Sean Jones on YouTube. He did the super question thing. Paid $20. So thank you so much, Sean. He says, any tips for pedals that can add some sag or more of that feel when using a preamp pedal through a power amp like the Fryette? The power amps can be a bit harsh. I know you'd kind of struggle with this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So preach.
I actually, the way that I'm using my Fryette is to drive my my wet cabinets. And so everything that the Fryette is seeing is coming from the preamp on the 2-Rock. So it's already got it's basic. And what I actually found was, because I've used a bunch of different things, to drive the wet cabs, but I actually found the Freya to do it the best because it doesn't have that sag. But if you're using it as your main amp, um, I feel like you could experiment with a bunch of different drive pedals that have that kind of natural transient sort of reducing quality to them, like Blues Breaker has a fair amount of sag to them. Something like the Mythos Chupacabra, which might be a little bit too dirty for you, but that would do it. You could also experiment with a little bit of compression. So I would say maybe experiment with something with a slightly, if you have control over the attack speed of your compressor, something that is a little quicker, so it grabs your transients a little bit sooner, or rather, yeah, play with the attack time, because you don't want it grabbing like the very front end of the note, but you do want it, I don't know, mess around with it. What you're looking for is a little bit of compression. So I would either find a drive pedal that gives you some more compression, or just try messing around with the compressor. I don't love compressors myself, but I do use a lot of pedals that have a lot of compression, like fuzzes and stuff like that. So for my clean sound, I like it to be a little more natural. Yeah.
Cool. Good luck, Sean.
Yeah.
Good question. Thanks.
Keep us posted.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe one more question, and then we should wrap it up, because I know we got a couple things we got to get to this afternoon. We got to clean all this madness up too.
It's true.
But this is fun. This is from Emma in Toronto. Joey.
Okay.
Emma Jane.
Oh, hey, Emma. How's it going?
What are some of the weirdest places you have played? First time I saw you was in a hair salon in Toronto. If you remember that gig, that is also the gig that we got Erica the Merch Owl.
Yeah,
from Erica.
From Erica,
the hairdresser.
Erica Quinn. Quinn West. Yep.
Quinn West.
And that was when we moved to Toronto. That was Erica cut my hair.
And that was among the weirdest gigs. I can think of a weird gig. I can think of a few weird gigs.
Man, you remember the time we dressed up like pilots?
That one really rings a bell. And so we did a private event early on in the stage of the band.
At the airport, and a friend of ours put the event on, and so she was just trying to throw us a bone and get us some work.
Yeah,
we
appreciated it, but they spent more
money on
renting the costumes than they did on paying the band. And we dragged our own PA, and we got dressed up in these ridiculous pilot suits to play at the Aviation Museum.
Oh yeah,
or the airport, or whatever it was at the time, and we sure felt silly. We did have a very good time, and I have photos from that.
I've done a few birthday parties.
I'm gonna grab the photos while you think of some of the.
Okay, yeah. I've done a few birthday parties where somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to go play this person's birthday party?" And you go, not really. And then they say, "Well, it's worth a fair amount of money." And you go, "Okay, well, I am broke," so you go and play it, and it's always weird to go and play somebody's birthday party, because the reality is that the person whose birthday party it is wants you to be there, and no one else does. I remember one wedding that I did many years ago, not wedding, birthday party, many years ago, and I had some lady come up to me the entire night and just go, "Just play what you want to play." It's like, I am playing what I want to play. These are all the songs I want to play. She's like, no, just play something fun. Like, this is, I know it's hard to believe, lady, but this is actually very fun for me, because these are songs that I wrote. They came right out of my heart, and they mean quite a bit to me. So just have fun with it. It's like, I don't know how to break this down for you, but what I'm getting from this is that you're not having fun. Oh my God.
So I'm sorry again to the folks on Instagram. You can't see this idiot photo, but it is it's Joey, Ryan, and I circa 2000.
Well, you know what? We'll post this photo on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it up just for a minute, and now I'm going to take it down, never to be seen again.
That's stupid.
That's so silly.
Other funny gigs.
One of my favorite funny gigs was another corporate gig, playing at the bra bar, which was the bra bar and pantry, which was a woman's underwear shop.
Yeah,
in St. Boniface.
Yeah.
And we were like kind of being routinely objectified throughout the entire gig, which the entire thing was very surreal.
It was awesome.
It was kind of great.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. I remember we were calling ourselves the Bras Landreth, obviously. That was a good one. That wasn't weird. That was great.
That was a funny gig.
Yeah. So many. You know what? There's this great steakhouse in Columbus.
Yeah.
And we've played it twice. And when you hear about the gig, you go, oh, this is going to be a funny gig. And then you get there, and it's such a nice gig.
The Refectory.
Yeah, it's such a nice gig. The food is incredible. It's like decidedly French cuisine, but nobody really speaks French, but they kind of do.
They're like, bonjour.
Bonjour, bienvenue à notre restaurant.
Yeah.
But the food is insane, and the people are wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good eat.
And
weird gig, good eat.
No, it's a great gig. I mean, it's small. It's a small gig, but it's always like it's a listening crowd. People are there to pay attention. But you walk in and you're like, this is going to be a weird night. And then every time I played it, I walk away going, that was great.
And the food is epic. And I think they put you up in a hotel.
The first time we played there, we brought our in-ear rig.
That's right.
Played to like 15 people
eating
$200 steaks.
Dano is reminding you of Gravelburg, Saskatchewan. That's it. We're just going to leave it there.
We'll always have Gravelburg.
Folks, we're gonna wrap it because I gotta run. I gotta get to a meeting at 1:30, and I've just loved doing this again.
Yeah,
very fun.
We just love the karate in the garage. It's nice. And how many bracelets do you have on under there?
It's just my watch. Just making
his other arm looks like my daughter's. Just like every color rubber band all the way up to the elbow.
Yeah.
He also cries when he leaves the house without his bracelets. So
I do. Keep your eyes peeled on our socials.
Yeah, tomorrow, right? We're announcing some tour dates tomorrow.
We'd love your help spreading the word. We'd love to see you out there if there are shows anywhere nearby. We're going to be announcing more dates.
I will also put this out there.
Yep.
Tomorrow, we're announcing dates. I won't tell you where, but if we're getting anywhere near you and there's a guitar shop that you think is great, let us know.
Yeah.
Because we're wanting to just engage a little more with some guitar shops when we get on the road and have them, and have them sort of help us spread the word about shows and maybe do some giveaways and stuff. So if we're coming to a town near you and there's a guitar shop that we should hit up to, put up some posters,
send us a little note,
help give away some merch, get people down to shows, let us know.
Yeah. We'd love that. We'd appreciate the help.
Yeah.
We love you very much. Please take really good care of yourselves and each other.
Yeah.
And we will see you again soon. I'm going to hit the tunes.
Okay.
Again, apologies to the folks on Instagram because
oh man, the theme song is so good.
It's so dope. It's so dope, but you can't hear it. And if I play it on the speakers, it's just going to create mayhem. So just imagine that I'm cueing a really sick theme song right now.
Nice.
I forgot I had live faded it.
Oh, you goober. March 7th, 2023, Karate in the Garage, Joe and Dave Landreth. We love you very much. Dave, I love you.
I love you, Joey.
We'll see you all soon.
Some sick bass playing on this.
It's all MIDI bass. I couldn't play any of that stuff.
Is there any other kind?
Yeah, there's real bass. Keyboard bass.
Bye, everybody.